Hello, and welcome to our webinar to provide a brief overview of the student education rights referenced in our district policies in the Everett Public Schools. I am Larry Fleckenstein, Regional Superintendent for Teaching and Learning in the Everett School District. And today I am glad to provide you with information that can support students and parents' navigation of our schools as it pertains to student rights. Before we begin, it is important to note that this presentation is for informational purposes only and does not provide any legal advice or establish an attorney-client relationship. Should you wish to obtain legal advice in relation to an individualized situation that pertains to you or your student, you may choose to consult an attorney. Each year in the Everett Public Schools, we update and publish our Student Rights and Responsibilities Handbook, which is a collection of the district's policies and procedures most frequently referenced by students and families. Although not an exhaustive collection of all the district's policies and procedures, the Student Rights and Responsibilities Handbook can be accessed from the district website at www.everettsd.org under the Students heading. From there, select Student Handbook. This will take you to the Student Handbook page. The handbook can be downloaded as a PDF file and is available in English, Arabic, Spanish, Russian, and Vietnamese languages. To access the complete collection of our district's policies and procedures, visit our district website at www.everettsd.org. Under our district heading, select Policies and Procedures and click. This will take you to the district Policies and Procedures webpage. At the top of the page where it says Search this collection, you can enter a search term, a policy or procedure number, or a keyword. You can also click on a specific folder and search within that folder for policies and procedures by number or keyword. This presentation has organized student educational rights into 7 categories, as you see listed on this slide. We'll explore each of these 7 categories in this webinar and how they relate to a student's experience in our district and how they connect to district policy. In Everett Public Schools, we strive to ensure that all students are safe and feel welcome in our schools. Everett Public Schools maintains a learning environment for students that is free from all forms of discrimination, including sexual harassment, regardless of gender expression, gender identity, or sex. The 4 policies and their related procedures listed on this slide outline for students and their families are district-wide processes to report incidents of harassment, intimidation, or bullying, racial harassment, sexual harassment, discrimination, or harassment based on gender identity or sex. In addition, these policies and procedures outline our district processes to receive, investigate, and resolve complaints of harassment or discrimination. It is important to know that a student's rights under the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution still exists while at school. However, in some situations or environments, students' free expression may be limited. The policies and procedures listed on this slide provide students further guidance and parameters regarding student free expression while on school property. Following Policy 3220, students' verbal and written expression of opinion on school premises is encouraged so long it does not substantially disrupt the operation of the school or otherwise violate district policy or procedure. Students may distribute student publications or other materials while on school property in accordance with Policy and Procedure 3222, although locations and times of distribution during the school day may be limited. Like other forms of expression on school property, students' distribution of material shall not create a substantial disruption of school activities or otherwise materially interfere with school operations. Individual students and student organizations may be permitted to meet or demonstrate peacefully on school grounds in places and at times designated by the principal. Such activities shall not be permitted to interfere with the normal operation of the school. Regarding the regulation of student dress, Policy 3224 is aligned to Washington Law RCW 28A 320-140. A student's choice in matters of dress should first be made in consultation with their parents and guardians. Our schools will work with students and their families on an individual basis to resolve issues related to student dress that may occur. Students' due process rights related to school discipline in the state of Washington are defined under the Washington Administrative Code 392, 400, 455 through 480, and are the foundation for policy and procedure 3300 in the Everett School District. These collection of laws and this policy are designed to address student behavior while keeping students in school as much as possible, and encourages the use of other forms of discipline in response to student behavior that does not include exclusion from the classroom. This policy also outlines exclusionary forms of student discipline, including suspension and expulsion, that may be used when a substantial disruption of the educational environment has occurred. In this policy, discipline means any action taken by the district in response to behavioral violations. Discipline is not always punitive, but can take positive and supportive forms. Established rules of student conduct are designed to provide students with a safe, healthy, and educationally sound learning environment. Students and their parents' guardians are expected to be aware of the district's rules of student conduct, including behavior standards that respect the rights, person, and property of others. Students and staff are expected to work together to develop a positive climate for learning. Policy and Procedure 3300 provides parents detailed information about student discipline parameters, forms of discipline, including other forms of discipline, and exclusionary discipline and student due process. Special education students have additional rights regarding student discipline as outlined in Policy 3318. No discipline, suspension, or expulsion shall be imposed on any special education student for any behavior related to the student's disability unless provision for such discipline has been included in the student's individual education program, also known as an IEP, except when the student's conduct falls within Board Policy 3300 and its procedure. If the behavior of a special education student is likely to lead to a recommendation of suspension or non-emergency expulsion, or is of a recurring nature leading to the imposition of repeated discipline, a meeting is to be held within 3 school days with the student and their parent guardian. For further information about special education students' discipline rights, please refer to Policy 3318. Everett School District staff take particular care to respect students' privacy. However, per Washington Law RCW 28A 600-220, no right or expectation of privacy exists for any student as to the use of any locker, desk, storage area, or space issued or assigned to a student by the school district. In 2019, the Everett School District significantly reduced the use of lockers at school except for physical education classes. However, students may be assigned lockers for storing or securing their books, school supplies, and personal effects. Lockers, desks, and storage areas are the property of the school district. Neither right nor expectation of privacy exists for any student as to the use of any space issued or assigned to a student by the school. Any locker, desk, or other storage area shall be subject to search if reasonable grounds exist to suspect that the search will yield evidence of the student's violation of the law or school rules in accordance with Board Policy 3231. A search is mandatory if there are reasonable grounds to suspect that there is a firearm in the locker, desk, or storage area. All student lockers may be searched at any time without prior notice and without reasonable suspicion that the search will yield evidence of any particular student's violation of the law or school rules. All students shall be free from unreasonable searches of their persons, clothing, and other personal property. However, per RCW 28A 600-230, a student and a student's possessions are subject to search by the principal, assistant principal, or principal's designee if reasonable grounds exist to suspect that the search will yield evidence of the student's violation of the law or school rules governing student conduct. A search is mandatory if there are reasonable grounds to suspect a student possesses a firearm while on school and district property. The Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, also known as FERPA, is a federal law that protects the privacy of student education records. The law applies to all schools that receive funds under an applicable program of the U.S. Department of Education. FERPA gives parent guardians certain rights with respect to their children's education records. These rights transfer to the student when they reach the age of 18 or attend a school beyond the high school level. FERPA allows school districts to define directory information and then share only that information unless parents request that information not to be shared. Please refer to Policy 3250, the release of student directory information, for our district's definition of directory information. The Everett School District likes to share good news about successes and achievements of our students. This includes displaying student work in print in our schools and online on our websites and social media outlets. It can also mean displaying student work in a public place and sharing student achievement information with news outlets. We can only share these forms of student information with prior parent-guardian approval per Policy 3250. In addition to FERPA, the Everett School District has 3 policies that further define how student information is protected by the district, and they are displayed on this slide. The Board of Directors recognizes that high-quality education data collected by its contracted school service providers is an important component for improving student achievement. The board also recognizes that the district plays a role in ensuring that school service providers use the personal information of students in a responsible and ethical manner consistent with the privacy protections required under federal and state law. Each year in August through September, we ask families to complete their students' annual information update form, indicating if they want their students' directory information to be shared. If you check no on the annual student information form, and if we receive your updated student information form by October 1st, we will not release your students' directory information. The district never releases phone numbers and addresses without your express permission. If you check yes on the annual information update form, the district may release student photos, names, and student work for use in school publications, district recognitions, print and online media communications. If your students' update information is returned after October 1st, please be aware that we may have already released your students' information per Policy 3250. We only share student addresses or phone numbers when such requests come from the military following Federal U.S. Code 207908 or from institutions from higher learning. We provide that information on or about October 15th each year to these groups. The district shall maintain those student records necessary for the educational guidance and/or welfare of students for orderly and efficient operation of schools as required by law. All information related to individual students shall be treated in a confidential and professional manner. Student records are the property of the district, but shall be available in an orderly and timely manner to students and parent guardians upon request. Please be aware that a parent guardian or adult student may challenge any information contained in a student's record believed to be inaccurate, misleading, or in violation of the privacy or other rights of the student. All students have the right to a free and public education. And we support access to education for our students who are experiencing homelessness or are in foster care via the 3 policies listed on the screen. The McKinney-Vento Homeless Education Act of 1987 provides support for homeless children and youth to continue their education without interruption or barriers. The definition of McKinney-Vento support is far more inclusive than what most people think when they think of homelessness. If your family is homeless, or if you are in a temporary living situation due to economic circumstances, your preschool aged and school aged children have certain rights or protections under federal law. KIT, or the Kids in Transition program, supports students who qualify as homeless under the federal McKinney-Vento legislation. Students who lack a fixed, regular, and adequate nighttime residence may qualify. Our KIT program works to eliminate barriers to students' academic success and extracurricular participation. Our KIT program ensures eligible students have school supplies and provide tutoring or facilitate student participation in extended day or summer school classes. We help students participate in activities such as sports or clubs by paying the required fees. KIT also provides transportation for eligible students to maintain school stability as long as the commute is feasible. The district has a responsibility to ensure that all students who reside within their boundaries can safely access a free and public education. The Everett School District does not exclude students from receiving an education or unlawfully discriminate against anyone because of their race, color, national origin, age, disability, gender identity, immigration or citizenship status, sex, creed, use of a trained dog guide or service animal by a person with a disability, sexual orientation, or on any other basis prohibited by federal, state, or local law. Following the 2 policies listed on this slide, the district does not grant permission for any person engaging in or intending to engage in immigration enforcement, including surveillance, to access areas of district facilities, property, equipment, databases, or otherwise on school grounds or their immediate vicinity. Policy and Procedure 4411 outline our working relationships with law enforcement and other health and human services and parameters limiting access of these agencies to students while at school. It is our mission in the Everett School District to inspire, educate, and prepare each student to achieve the high standards, contribute to our community, and thrive in a global society. To achieve our mission, we need families like you to partner with our schools to ensure each student has a team of caring adults who are advocating for them and their success. You taking the time to view this video is a great first step in becoming more knowledgeable about how you can advocate for your student and help them find success in the Everett Public Schools. I hope this information and in this presentation has been helpful as a resource that can help our families to navigate the policies and procedures in our school district related to student rights. Please visit our Policies and Procedures website at www.everettsd.org for more information.